Good morning, everybody. Has everybody got a seat? My name is Thelma de Plooy. It's my pleasure to welcome you here this morning to the start of the 2023 Pebbles AGM, hosted for the very, very first time here at our own Pebbles Clinic. Woohoo! I would like to introduce to you all our first speaker, Dr. Lee Adams. Lee has been a Pebbles trustee member since 2019, vice chairperson since 2021, and since last year our Pebbles chairperson, who will also be chairing the AGM session today. Thank you, Lee.
Good morning, everyone. Such a wonderful opportunity just to see these wonderful friendly faces in front of me. Our last two AGMs have been online, so it's obviously a wonderful opportunity. So please smile and engage. So welcome. Welcome to our AGM. Special welcome to my fellow trustees. Must I be at the mic? Okay. Special welcome to my fellow trustees, staff, all the staff here, and then our donors. It's once again been an incredible year for Pebbles, as we serve in the communities that we operate. Today we serve in various communities, Stellenbosch, Wellington, Citrusdal, Klein Willem, Grabouw, Hemel en Aarde, in Hermanus. And so we continue to change lives in the thousands of kids that we serve and their families. Our early childhood development and after-school clubs have proven effective in providing quality education programs, health services, and social work services to children who need them most. Our success has not been possible without the incredible partnerships, donors, volunteers, and staff who are shared in our vision and goals. As we reflect on the progress we've made and the challenges we still face, I'm reminded of the words of Nelson Mandela. Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. And that is what we do at Pebbles. We do this through our quality education, our social work services, and our health services. At Pebbles, we change lives. So the agenda today, I've just done the welcome. We'll share with you our new Pebbles video, so very excited to see that. Peter Koch will then take you through the financial report. Sophie will take you through the general presentation. We'll have some special mentions, and we'll have a word from Simon, and then we'll close. And afterwards, we'll have just a presentation by Palesa. Okay. Just moving on to formalities. I'll take it that we can accept the previous minutes of the AGM. Happy? Okay, thank you. Just a reminder of the Board of Trustees, myself as chairperson, Zanele vice chairperson, Peter Koch, Sophie, Peter Blaine, and then Lucy. This is the incredible board members. Guys, give them a hand of applause. We also note apologies of people that couldn't be here. So once again, an incredible lineup in terms of the AGM. I must stay here. Incredible lineup in terms of the AGM. But next, I'll show the Pebbles video and then hand over to Peter just to take us through the financials. Okay.
Farm worker communities in South Africa often lack access to quality education, health, nutrition, and social work services. At the Pebbles Project, we envision a world where these communities are supported and have equal access to services and opportunities. This is the Pebbles Project story. We envision a world where every pregnant mother is supported and guided and has a healthy pregnancy. Where every pregnant mother has access to quality healthcare services and transportation. We envision a world where every baby is born healthy and given the best start to life, where they are looked after in a safe, nurturing, and stimulating environment while their parents are at work. We envision a world where children receive quality early education in their formative years so they can reach their academic potential and be emotionally and socially secure. Happy, healthy, and playful children who feel free to express themselves. We envision a world where every child receives nutritious cooked meals prepared daily by the Pebbles Kitchen, which contributes to their overall mental and physical well-being. Children who are sick are unable to learn optimally. We envision a world where every child has access to quality healthcare services and transportation. We envision a world where school-going children receive quality primary school education and are given all the academic support and resources needed to thrive, where children can enjoy themselves through extramural and sporting activities. We envision a world where children have access to extra academic support, tutors, and reading materials. Pebbles provides these services through our innovative mobile resource centers. We envision a world where young adults are assisted in studying at tertiary institutions, as well as gaining important life and practical skills to become contributing members of society. This is us. We are the Pebbles Project. We are proud to be changing lives in the Western Cape of South Africa. Will you join us?
Oh my goodness. Our next speaker this morning is Peter Koch. Peter joined the Pebbles Board of Trustees in June 2021. As a chartered accountant, it is such a pleasure to have him on the Pebbles Board as our treasurer and presenting the financials today. Thank you, Peter.
Good morning, everyone. I don't know if those of you have seen the financials, but Pebbles has been incredible in the past. Well, you'll see it later. Just every year, it just amazes me the growth in the organization, both in terms of donor support as well as in terms of the work that Pebbles has got up to. Even just looking at whenever I come in here and I see this facility, and you look around you and you see these treatment rooms, the dental surgery and the welcoming nature of this space. It's just incredible. So feel very privileged to be part of it and to be up here presenting yet another very successful year from a financial perspective. But this is the boring bit. Sophia will give us the wonderful, the real meat when she steps up here. So just to go through the slides. This is the third year in a row that we've exceeded 30 million rand across South Africa and the UK in terms of funding received. The staff numbers have been relatively stable at around 100. There's a financial management system that was implemented by Michael and his team a couple of years ago called Zero, and that's working well. We will be changing our financial year end, so at the moment it's February, but we're going to change to the calendar year just because it suits the academic calendar better. So the next AGM will be for the year end of December 2023. I'm not sure how many of you can see this, but this is the balance sheet. I tell you, I can't even see it on my screen. I'm going to put my glasses on here, just to give you some of the highlights. Property, plant, and equipment, which primarily consists of vehicles and other things, is dropped by 500,000. There was a new vehicle purchased during the year. That drop you see there is just the depreciation. You may be able to see the cash and cash equivalents has gone up quite healthily by 4 million. You'll see that that's when we come to the income just now. You'll see that that's the result of a significant increase in donations during the year. So the accumulated surplus has gone up from 9 to 11.6 million. And the UK has also been very successful in its fundraising. So some of that money has been spent, but some of it's been carried over to next year. So the bottom line there, funds held in respect of Pebbles UK has increased from 1.7 million to 3.5 million. This is on the income side for South Africa. South African income, you can see corporate donations has increased by 1 million from 2 to 3 million. Government funding has been relatively stable. It's gone down a little bit this year. We're very proud of the fact that income generation has gone up. That's the income that Pebbles generates from, for example, selling meals, and that's gone up by 15% from 7 to 8.3 million. Individual donations has remained consistent, and you can see that trusts and foundations, the income has increased there considerably from 14.5 to 18.3 million. On the UK side, we keep the UK separate. It's a separate entity that is managed separately, but obviously all the funding comes into Pebbles and supports the work that Pebbles South Africa is doing. But for sort of UK charity regulations perspectives, it's kept separate. So they've managed to generate over 5 million rands worth of funding for us. The breakdown here is where that money's been allocated. Over 3 million during the course of the current year that we're reporting on, with 1.8 million carried over to next year. This is the dramatic graph that just keeps growing and growing. This is our income over the last 15 odd years or more. You can see that there was a period during COVID there where it dipped and then stabilized around 30 million, and yet again we've seen growth in 2023. It's absolutely astounding, and it's also a recognition of the faith that donors have in Pebbles. Over 80% of that money coming in is from repeat donors that have, in many cases, developed long-term relationships with Pebbles. This is a breakdown of where the money's come from, just percentage-wise. So around half is coming from trusts and foundations, 49%, and over 22% is coming from our own generation, income generation. So that's up from a relatively low level just a few years ago. So it just remains to be said that we need to thank each and every single contributor to Pebbles, both those that are in kind, in cash, as well as in kind donations. We have listed the key donors in the annual report and on the website, but they are getting too many to name individually here. But you know, we're very incredibly thankful for the contributions. Just mentioning those in-kind donations, they are not insignificant. Over 2.7 million rands has been received in in-kind donations during the course of that year, of which 1.4 million are received by the Pebbles Kitchen. And again, thank you very much to every single donor of items for the children. It includes blankets, rehydration, books, food, clothing, toothpaste, stationery, medical equipment, wine, restaurant vouchers, toiletries. We've even got a building donators. A breakdown of where the expenses are going. Sophia will give you more background on the programs in her session, but you can see the bulk there is going to the learner education and enrichment program. That includes all the after-school clubs, as well as the Pebbles Academy primary school in Amanus, which is a significant investment. The early adulthood program is on the far right there. There's the small block, but we can expect to see an increase in that program this financial year as the program grows. Otherwise, the nutrition service on the left there, that doesn't include all the in-kind donations that have been received. So that's also become a very significant part of Pebbles. And the admin salaries in the middle, we'll give a bit more breakdown on that shortly. And then early care and education program is on the last green block there. This is just to give you some more breakdown on the administration. In the annual report, it's I think that was rounded up to 15%, but it's actually 14.3% has been spent on admin salaries out of the total expenditure. If you include the in-kind donations, I mean not the in-kind, the in-kind expenditure, as well as the asset base that Pebbles is now managing, that percentage is actually down at about 13%, which is very reasonable for an organization of this size. There's also that's been recognized by one of our key donors that have helped specifically putting money into organizational strengthening, training, and online management systems. So we should see Pebbles becoming even more efficient in the coming years. But otherwise, what you can see from this pie chart is that over half the expenditure is on education, 55%, around 10% on health, and 21% on nutrition. Again, just a breakdown of the administration expenses, around 1.3 million, with another 3.5 million on wages and salaries that are not directly allocated to projects, so adding up to 14.3. So just our final statement from the trustees' perspective. We've reviewed the trust cash flow forecast for the year to February 2023 and ahead, and in the light of this review and the current financial position, we are satisfied that the trust has access to adequate resources to continue in operational existence for the foreseeable future. Again, just to emphasize, like I said, over 80% of that of the 37 million rand that you saw raised there in this financial year came from repeat donors. So last slide from me, just in terms of signing off on these financials. We'd like you to accept the financial report for the 22-23 financial year, and also to accept appointment of our auditors for 23-24. We had new auditors this year, DVH auditors. By all accounts from the management team, the audit went well, and we are looking forward, or we're proposing that we remain with the auditors for the year ahead. So we just want the AGM to also confirm that. So can I have acceptance of the financial report? Thank you very much. And acceptance of the reappointment of the auditors? Thanks very much. That's it from me, and I'm going to hand over to Thelma. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Peter. No introduction is needed for our next speaker. It gives me great pleasure to welcome the founder of Pebbles and our CEO, Sophia Warner.
I don't want to do that again, that was quite nice. I apologise for the attire. I went for comfort and warmth over style, possibly. And I'm so glad the pouring rain has now held off. But when Pebbles makes a plan, Pebbles sticks to the plan, whatever the weather's going to throw at us. So I'm very proud to be here today and thankful that you have joined us. Okay. So let me introduce this incredible team of people. I get a lot of the recognition. When things are going really well at Pebbles, everyone's like, oh, you must be so proud, you have done so much. But, and I know I say it every year, this is not just me. I may have had the idea at the beginning, but it was the original board of trustees who came on board. It's our current trustees now, and it is these 100 people sitting here, many of whom are here. We told the remote offices they didn't have to schlep all the way through the rain to come, but they're all here in front of you. We've got a team of about 100, consisting of the admin team, which is finance, HR, fundraising, and administration. We've got our program team, the teachers, occupational therapists, specialists, professionals in the education side. And then we've got our services team, which is our health professionals, our kitchen team, and our social workers. So it is every single person in this team who contributes together to make Pebbles the success that it has been this year. Lee already mentioned, she stole my speech. The areas that we're working in. Last year we decided that we are going to stick to these areas. We're not going to expand. So despite having quite a few phone calls, yes, Charlie, I'm looking at you, of don't you want to come work here, don't you want to come work in this area, we've at the moment managed to say, no, we're going to stick with these areas because we're not done in these areas yet. There's still work that needs to be done. We need to roll out all of our services and programs in these areas before we feel ready to move on. And it's very difficult for someone like me, and actually I think quite a lot of the team, to say one step at a time, let's just focus on these areas when there's so many others that are waiting for our services. So the framework, we introduced this last year, so most of you will have seen it, and of course the Pebbles staff all know this probably ad nauseum. You're probably very sick of this because it is what we have been working on for the last 3 years. Is our framework of how the programs fit together. So we have been really working in the framework this year and getting used to how it works and making a few adjustments, but we also decided let's just work with the framework for the next sort of year or so, just so that we can give it a chance to pop up where there may be problems, but also give it a chance to work. So for the program managers, service managers, led by Sam, I think you deserve a huge thank you for sticking with the framework. I know it's been difficult and I know there's been a lot of demands on you. Where's this? Where's this? Why, you know, but it's going and the framework I think is now embedded in really everything that we do. So it's given us a stability and a place to start from and a place to launch from. Our beneficiaries numbers, they fluctuate throughout the year. Poor Chris and Amy are responsible for putting the beneficiary numbers every month together. Sometimes it's new farms that join us and the numbers go up a bit. Sometimes it's farms say actually they're going to run with their own programs, which is for us a success. That means, you know, they're ready to take on responsibility for programs on their own farms. Sometimes it's seasonal workers come in, sometimes seasonal workers leave. So the numbers have dipped a little bit from last year, but I think, you know, in the last few years we're consistently staying the same, and it's probably because we're not taking on new areas. So within the areas that we're already working, there is a bit of fluctuation. The number of staff trained, though, has gone up a little bit. We've increased the training. The first 1,000-day staff come in one day, the early childhood development staff come in another day, and the school enrichment program staff come in another day. So there's 3 major training days throughout the month. I think it's run every second month. So the numbers have gone up a little bit there. but it's the number of centres has not increased significantly. Our health and wellness service, so collectively this clinic plus the mobile clinic that is also here, they did over 10,000 appointments over the last financial year. So the clinic is slightly different. We don't count the number of beneficiaries, we count the number of appointments that have been attended at the clinic, because that is the significant number. The adults and the children come and they are seen by a health professional, they receive medication when they need to, and there is the significant number that we're going to count. So maybe one child may come back 10 times in a month, hopefully not. But they may come back more than once, so it makes sense to actually count the number of appointments. So those are for consultations with the medical staff, wellness screenings, dental treatments, medication has been dispensed, or health professionals have given workshops. So the health team is going from strength to strength. We've had a few new staff members join the team, and I'm super proud of the clinic. And Sam, I'm looking at you, well done. You should be proud of this. Our nutrition service and the Pebbles Kitchen is a story on its own. It is a success story of Pebbles of note. Led by Dominic, they have handed out over 700,000 meals in the last year. We've also expanded it to now the kitchen is producing baby meals and also supplementary meals for the pregnant moms. So sometimes the mother is not getting the full nutrients that she needs. So we provide an additional meal for her on the farm where she's working, in the creche or the ECD centre, and she can go and have her lunch there, just so that we know that the nutrients that the growing baby needs is being provided. Sometimes the mothers choose not to accept it, but generally I think they do. And it just gives us peace of mind that the nutrition is being taken care of there. So the kitchen continues to form amazing partnerships with donors. The donations in kind, as Peter mentioned, 1.4 million rands worth of donations in kind to the kitchen, and that is from relationships that Dominic has made with companies, in the area who are committed to supporting the kitchen. So Dom, thank you very much. Good job, thank you. So the cost per child, it's kind of interesting just to look at how much it costs us to run the organisation per child per month. So at the moment it's sitting at about just over 2,000 rand per child per month. And when you think about what they receive for that, their education, their health, the nutrition, I'm thinking about what I spend for my daughter. I wish it was 2,000 rand a month. There was a slight increase from last year. I think it was about 1,500, 1,600 last year cost per child. But that does account for the drop in numbers of children, plus also the growing fuel costs and food costs and electricity and running the kitchen on diesel generators when the load shedding. So all of those things impact on how efficiently and effectively we can use the funding for the programs. But I still think it's the best 2,000 rand we've ever spent, each child, each month. So some of our achievements, the framework says it's completed, but I think there's probably still a little bit more to do, dare I say that. And just getting the monitoring and evaluation process perfected. We've adopted PaySpace and the staff room software, so now we are pretty much in every area. We are online, on an online system, finance, HR, donor management, and beneficiary management. And they're all working really well. They've been a bit of a headache for some of us to pick up all the details of using an online system, but when we're there, it's going well. One of our biggest achievements, I think, in the last financial year was the 2 youth development centres, both of which came along a little bit unexpectedly. We had the early adulthood programme and we knew it was going to be running, but what we didn't know was that we would find donors who would come in and actually build us a centre. So the building that's just here, the prefab building, was sponsored by a company, SBA, and they donated the building for us. So suddenly it was like, now we've got a centre as well. And down in Hermanus, we had a derelict onion shed that the Rotary Club took a look at and decided they wanted to renovate that for us. So there is another youth development centre down there. it's one of my most, it's one of the things I'm most proud of when we see the young adults attending that centre and they're excited to come every day. It's a 2-year program they're on. So this year they're learning a lot of skills. They're doing training on hospitality, barista training, wine training. And then next year they will go out and do more placements in companies and restaurants and hotels and pick up the actual practical skills. And hopefully by the end of the 2nd year we can watch them fly. One of the other lovely things is some of our interns are here today, so some of our beneficiaries who've come through Pebbles are now interning for the organisation. And we've got a couple working in the admin office and also over in the ops office, and another gentleman working down in Hemel and they're the future, and they're the ones that are committing their lives to actually coming and working for the organisation as interns. Thank you, guys. You're welcome. Okay, and then I'm squinting at this because I don't want to put my glasses on. Our Twinings Mobile Health Clinic celebrated its 2nd year, and it's doing really well up in the Clanwilliam areas. We've taken on new farms in Clanwilliam. Esty and I were up there last week chatting to the farm owners there, and it's going very well. And the good news is that Twinings has also now agreed for an additional 3-year funding period. So we know we're safe, we know the project will continue. Okay, our current and future goals. So we received some funding from a donor, which was to use for organisational strengthening, really making sure that the organisation has got a long-term future. So we are investing some money in training our staff, in creating opportunities for better communication between the teams, and also investing in these online management systems that we need to make sure that the organisation is properly run and is going to be a success going ahead. We celebrate our 20th birthday next year, which is a huge milestone. We will invite you back for a big party next year. Thelma, just make that note in your diary for that. So we hopefully will just continue to grow and strengthen the organisation for its future success. We are investing in staff development and succession planning, or we're trying to recruit a talent manager who can come in and work with the team to also develop the staff and make sure we've got a lot of staff who've been working for the organisation for a long time, and we need to be making sure that they are developed and grown as well as the organisation grows. So I've said about the minimal geographical expansion, but deepening our impact. We are looking possibly in the future at a flagship ECD centre in Stellenbosch, but actually you'll see the bottom line there is a new primary school in Stellenbosch. One of our long-standing donors, actually the donor who built the kitchen for us, I met with them a couple of weeks ago and they said, "Don't we want a school in Stellenbosch?" So I'm like, right, I'll just put it on the... It's weird, when we put things on here, they tend to happen. If we look back on the AGM presentations over the years and what we've put up there, a lot of it has happened. So you know what, I do believe if you put something out to the universe answers you and says, here you go, you said you wanted this, so get on with it now. We're also looking at increasing our volunteers and internship opportunities. Volunteers are so vital to us. They bring skills and time and energy, and they just enrich the team. So I know Sam has been talking to some overseas universities, plus a lot of local universities in Cape Town and Stellenbosch, and also hoping to strengthen those ties with those universities, which will just enrich the organisation. And then we're looking at a new classroom for the Hemel and Arda. We've been working down in the Pebbles Academy. They've been dual grade, is that right, the right term? Classrooms, so grade 1 and 2 together, 3 and 4 together. And now as the school is growing, we're also now splitting those classrooms. So eventually in the next 2 years, we will have 8 classrooms from grade R to grade 7. So at the moment, there are still some combined, but a new classroom is coming down there. So I want to say thank you to the Pebbles team, the staff, all of the things I've mentioned. They've been involved in the success of that and making it happen. And I get the special bit about the special mentions and the special thank yous. So our Board of Trustees here, you've met Lee, you've met Peter. Lucy is also here in the Russian outfit. Not sure how appropriate that is, but there we go. Lucy, as you know, is my sister and has been on the board since Pebbles started. So next year, Luce, we're going to celebrate the 20 years together. Anna, who is our photographer, you'll see a lot of the photographs are Anna's photographs. She was also a founding trustee and is still involved. She still comes back and does our photography for us. So I think we're going to pull together next year all the people who've been with the organisation over the years. Thank you to the Board of Trustees. I come to you when I need you. You're there when I need you or don't need you. I know you're there, and the strength is just behind me. The guidance that you give us is incredible, and I know it takes your time and your energy. Thank you also to Zanele, who is up in Joburg or Bloemfontein or Pretoria, I'm not 100% sure, and to Peter Blaine as well, who sent his apologies. He's through in Somerset West, but he's busy with marking at university. So the whole board, I want to thank you. Our Pebbles directors, as Peter mentioned, Pebbles UK is a separately registered organisation, and we have a board of directors there. We have Ray, we have David and Elizabeth and myself. So they quietly just tick things over in the UK efficiently and calmly. Our senior management team, Michael is sitting here. He is our finance manager. Angela is at the back there, our HR manager. Sam is there. Sorry, Sam. I keep looking for you, but I couldn't see you. So Sam is there. She is our Chief Operations Officer. Thank you so much to the four of you. We make a great team. We all bring different strengths, and we all contribute to something significant. Now, I have left someone out of the senior management team because it's a very special day. Today is the day that Esty is celebrating her 15th year with Pebbles. So I think you need to come. Just stand up. 15 years. 15 years. We have been through so much together. Esty came when the organisation was based in the tiny little one-room office in Somerset West. One room. And then we moved on to the farm here. Esty started off as a coordinator, project coordinator, and has been through so many of the roles. She's been instrumental in setting up new programs, new services, and has seen the organisation growing. So not only is she the colleague that I want by my side, she is also a friend that I will value forever. Esty, you have been incredible for this organisation, and I know a lot of the stability that people see in the organisation is down to you. So I want to thank you for your contribution for the last 15 years. I don't know if we'll make the next 15 years together, but you know, we can aim for that. But thank you so much. Also want to mention Minika, who is off sick today. Sadly, she's not well. She is our social worker. She's also been with the organisation for 15 years. So us long-timers getting a bit long in the tooth. But we know the organisation inside and out. We know every aspect of the organisation. And we've got a lot of staff members who are now coming through who've been with us like coming up to 10 years. Which I think speaks to the success of the organisation. There's a family feeling. Of course, families also sometimes squabble. But generally, everyone's here for one purpose. And every time we look at the children, it's like, that's what we're here for. So for those of you who are coming up to your 5 years or your 10 years celebration, thank you also to you. The fundraising team, Esty, Rachel, Liesl, Madeline. Liesl, I want to say thank you very much for the video. That was Liesl's work. It was beautiful, plus the voiceover from our award-winning actress there. Rachel, who pulled off the most amazing annual report. If you look at the back, there's a QR code. So we're going modern. So you can scan the QR code and look at the annual report on your phone, plus we've got the electronic version sent out, to send out, okay. Madeline and Thelma, also part of the fundraising team. That 37 million rand didn't come from nowhere, and it came from a lot of work from the team. So I want to say thank you to the fundraising team for pulling it off. And then also to Thelma and Mandy for arranging today. You come in, you sit down, and the sun has finally come out for us. But this took quite a lot of preparation, especially do we do it, don't we do it? It's going to rain, it's going to... Anyway, we're here, it stopped raining, the sun is out. Thelma, thank you so much. And Mandy, thank you very much for helping. So now I need do need my glasses, a bit too small here. The farm owners that we work with, Simon is here. I'm not sure if there are any other farm owners here. I think Hanti also. Yes, thank you for coming. We can't do this obviously without the partnership with the farm owners. Many of the farms also contribute to the services. They buy the meals from the kitchen and are strong partners with us with the one intention of improving the lives of the workers on their farm. So thank you to the farm owners and the farming communities who welcome us with open arms. Local businesses get on board to support us either with donations in kind or funding. And of course our loyal donors and sponsors, some of whom are here today. And I'm very proud to say have flown all the way from America to be here today. So, well, maybe not quite, but I mean nearly. Or even driven from Citrusdale, Clanwilliam. Anyway, it's far. Our other partner organisations, again, we partner with a lot of other organisations. I think in this financial year, it's about 83 different organisations that we partner with. So they come in and they contribute in their way, and we also will contribute back. So it's a nice synergy of working together with people. And then our beneficiaries have to be on there because they make it all worthwhile. Our young adults that we work with, plus right the way down to the babies. Just spending a bit of time on the farms with those children changes your entire day. We don't do it enough, or I don't do it enough. I'm more on the computer, but the beneficiaries are the reason why we're here. And then I come on to GCF and Villiera Wine Farm and the Greer family. They are there on the bottom for a reason. So 15 years ago, we asked if we could come and be on this farm. And Simon grudgingly said, yeah, you can take the building at the back there. But you can only stay for 3 years, really. So let's just agree to that, start off with. 15 years, one building, clinic, another building, fleet of buses. Nothing is ever enough. Nothing is ever too much, I mean. That came out wrong. Nothing is ever too much. Whatever we ask you, you grant us. And we have a very solid home here. So those of you will know that Villiera was sold this year and has been taken over by GCF, which is a French company. They've also welcomed us with open arms and have contributed a beautiful new bus as well as their welcome gift to us. I'm sure it should have been the other way around, but I wasn't going to say anything. But for you, Simon, Kathy, Jeff, the whole team at Villiera, all of your staff, thank you for allowing us to have a home, and thank you for, when you sold the farm, thank you for making sure that we were part of that went into the future. Thank you. Okay, so I'm actually going to invite Simon now to come and speak. So Simon Greer, together with his cousin Jeff, started the family-owned Villiera Wines outside Stellenbosch in 1983? Yeah. Kathy Brewer, also originally a Greer, later joined the family team in 1987. Simon studied at Stellenbosch University and is responsible for the vineyards. He's also responsible for Pebbles. So Simon, come and have your word. But thank you. Let me just check I've said everything I was supposed to say. I have. Come, Simon.
Yeah, hi everyone. Welcome to Villiera, welcome to Pebbles. And very nicely put there. I did study at Stellenbosch, but I never passed. I never thought I'd be a wine farmer. I thought I was going to be a chicken farmer. And I didn't have the support of Pebbles. Yeah. So it was actually, I think, 19 years ago that Sophia approached Villiera and said, would you mind us, or would you mind me looking after the kids in the preschool? And I said, for sure, that would be fantastic, because that wasn't an area where we had the skills, and it was quite a responsibility. And I was just sitting here thinking and looking at all these reports, and it was like what Jack must have felt like when he stuck that bean seed in the ground and woke up the next morning. I thought, oh my God, what is this? And or picking up a little kitten, and one day it's a massive lion. So it's been an amazing journey. And one of our good customers in the UK, Marks and Spencer, they said it's all about doing the right thing. And you ask questions, and if you just do the right thing, it normally turns out okay. And Pebbles has been just unbelievable for Villiera and all the people that have been involved with Pebbles. It's a whole generation of children that have gone from preschool through into universities, tertiary education, special skills, all of that. A lot of these children might have been lost along the way. I mean, all of us as businesses, we pay VAT, we pay tax, and we often pay it grudgingly because we worried about how it's going to be spent, where it's going to go, what's the return on investment. And with Pebbles, every cent that goes in, it looks like you put in 1 cent, you get 10 cents back. So it's the best investment for anyone. For the children, often living on a farm, you're not exposed to the big world out there and the competition, but also the opportunities that are there. A friend of mine once, in his old age, he was about 60, climbed up to Everest Base Camp. And I said to him, why the hell do you do that? So he said, look, I'm just trying to push back the boundaries of what's possible for a guy like me. And the children on the farm have been exposed to what's available. And one of the guys is working in a bank in the head office. We've got one child that's at Bloemfontein University studying medicine. And a lot of other kids that are really doing things that they would never have thought would have been possible. And these opportunities come through the dedicated staff at Pebbles. And not only are the children benefiting, I look at South Africa, and with the massive unemployment that we have, there are 100 people working here that through the Pebbles Foundation are being able to do this massive contribution to the country. We run a business, and sustainability is very important for us. So we look at the economics of our business, but in addition to that, we're looking at the environment, and we're looking at the social side as well. And Pebbles on the social side has just opened up new frontiers for us. And the effort that we have to put in is absolutely minimal. I can tell you, when I walk around here, I see what you're doing, I'm actually embarrassed. Because you say, thank you, Simon, or thank you, Villiera. We've actually done nothing, really. We've only done what we should have done, and you've taken that ball and run with it, and we have benefited from it. And when we were looking at the succession planning, as you look at succession at Pebbles, we're looking at the future, the family members that are involved in the business, and what the chances are of taking it into the next generation and still being a successful business. And we worked at it for 10 years. And one of the options was to sell, but we didn't really think about it until GCF came along and said, do you want to sell? And so we thought, okay, well, let's see how interested they really are. And we showed them the wildlife sanctuary and told them about Pebbles, and they were pretty lukewarm about it. They were very much zoned into wine production and with Villiera bubbly production. And when they started with their due diligence, they made it one of the key performance areas or indicators that Pebbles had to be part of the deal. They had to agree to actually stay. And that after saying they're not interested in the wildlife and the environmental side of the business, they said that has to be part of the deal. Because in France and around the rest of the world, you very seldom have an organization like this. It's pretty unique. And they want to be part of it. And yeah, so I think you've got a good new partner. I'll be here another 2.5 years. There's a really good bunch of people that are coming into the business. And I'm sure they will do a better job than we do. But Pebbles has got a future. The environment has got a future. Our staff have got a future. And it's only going to go from strength to strength. And from me, and I'm sure from all the other farms that you work from, thank you so much. And from the donors, I think even the guys that are donating the money and can see how well it's being used. I mean, if I could take all my tax money and give it to you, it would be great. But thanks so much. Okay.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us here today for the Pebbles AGM 2023. I would like to thank all our presenters today. Thank you to the Pebbles staff as we celebrate another year. Thank you for coming in this weather. I want you to be safe, be warm.